Hi, and welcome. My name is Cheryl Berry, and I am an adjunct professor at Sacred Anatomy Academy and a practitioner of Sacred Anatomy Energy Medicine. Let me ask you, what if holding a boundary could be a positive, health-affirming approach to life? What if you could learn a 5-step practice that could expand your self-awareness, increase your peace of mind, and give you a powerful energy boundary at the same time? Well, discovered and developed after years of personal and professional study by Desda Zuckerman, the edge practice is a living, breathing way to access and use the subtle body in everyday life. Desda herself will answer questions after the meditation to the edge. So please write your questions down or enter them into the chat, and she will answer as many as she can. So welcome to the Sacred Anatomy Secret, your powerful energy boundary. Desda is an author, healer, teacher, speaker, ordained minister, and clairvoyant, whose work is based on a lifetime spent deciphering the swirling streams of energy she sees around all things. The Sacred Anatomy is your highly organized and intelligent body of light, and it includes your physical body. The Sacred Anatomy is your own personal connection to infinite divine consciousness, and it is waiting for you to call upon it. In 1997, Desda Zuckerman founded the discipline Sacred Anatomy Energy Medicine, SAEM. It's both an intentional healing modality as well as a philosophy, and they're both based in the subtle anatomy that is located all around and includes your physical body. Now, Desda documented her decades of studying it in her encyclopedic book, Your Sacred Anatomy, an owner's guide to the human energy structure. It was published in 2012. This has made her an internationally recognized pioneer of subtle energy medicine. So please, with me, give a warm welcome to Desda Zuckerman.
Hi, everybody. It's great to be here. It's wonderful to see you. And I want to thank Cheryl for that kind introduction. Welcome so from the bottom of my heart to this wonderful class, The Sacred Anatomy Secret. And I want to acknowledge and appreciate those of you who were able to be flexible and change the date from last week to this week. It made a big difference for me. I was suffering with a cold and I'm almost over it now. So you may hear a cough or two. I hope not, but you may. And I just want to let you know that I'm doing great. So thank you. Today I'll be sharing something with you that just might change your world and save your life. Yes, save your life. And that's something that we were able to say after I started to see more and more people using the edge practice. I could see how it was making a difference for so many and changing so many lives. So in this hour, we're going to explore into one of the most profound and yet unknown aspects of our shared human experience, that you and I are far more than what we commonly thought, and are more than flesh and bones and hopes and dreams. And you can learn to use a specific part of yourself, hidden up until now, that can bring your sacred and subtle anatomy into a conscious relationship and expand your capacity for an even fuller life. I've been sharing this spiritual technology and teaching students from all walks of life to go to the edge of their subtle structure for years. And I've seen real miracles occur. Families talking again, workplaces becoming hospitable, people reminiscing about how they used to be so burnt out all the time, but that no more now that they have the edge practice. Yes, it does take some effort, and it is definitely a practice. But today I'm going to introduce you to an incredible secret that can become completely available to you. A secret that can teach you to access your energy body, your own subtle structure, and a secret that is, in fact, your most competent and awakened self. So when we think about human potential, we have to open our eyes and look around us today. And you're going to see in every corner of the world bold new discoveries and innovative territories of mind and body and spirit. There's technologies galore. And we are in an era of great opportunity and expansion when secrets are being revealed. Today, more and more of our creative dreams are being nurtured. What up until now has been the promise of our human potential is fast becoming usable human talents and skills that we can apply in our lives. But in the same breath, and maybe because there's so much good work in the world, the opposite arises in resistance. And it takes a stand. If you are awake and aware of this world today, you cannot ignore the darkness that lingers. In fact, I'll bet you've already realized you must live with the darkness while you persistently keep your own bright light shining. Right now, we humans as a species are poised to make a transformational leap, a conscious and vital shift away from misogyny, race hatred, lack of tolerance, and violence. The possibility of this happening is real and it's powerful. Millions across the earth are in agreement that a new way is dawning. Change is just a conscious collective shift away, and it's within our collective grasp. I'm talking about consciousness and energy. Everything is energy. From the farthest reaches of the cosmos to your world around you. And tuning into the resonance of other humans is similar to tuning into a radio transmission. The shared human frequency allows you and I to feel how we affect our immediate relationships, and in a broader way, all humanity and our connection to it. As more and more people learn how to be in connection with the larger collective human field, the primordial consciousness of all creation notices, opens its eyes, and lifts its head. You are noticed as a contributing member of the collective consciousness. And so begins a real and embodied relationship with the whole of life itself. And it's beautiful. If you've already been working to establish a deeper bond to your more expanded self, the secret I'm going to share with you will spark a conscious waking state that may have long been sleeping. Or may it be it's just been taking a rest. Today, simply walking through a mindful 5-step practice of going to the edge will wake up that sleeping giant within you. Just like neurotransmitters, you can develop pathways of consciousness that will provoke an increasing sensate awareness. As a spark ignites a fire in you, your larger consciousness bursts into life. As you come into consciousness, the collective energetic field all humans share begins to respond. And as our cooperative awareness is impacted, it begins to shift for the better. Others can sense your presence within this field. And whether consciously or unconsciously, they can sense a relationship is beginning to happen. A recognition of your interconnectedness with your brothers and sisters first occurs at a subtle level. There's no question we affect each other, however. And we can sense this in our bodies, in our hearts, in our minds and spirits. We matter to each other, and we influence the health and well-being of this, our species, with our intrinsic perceptions. After experiencing the edge practice, some people report a deep resonance and a resonation in their bones as the sacred anatomy concepts land in them in real time, anchoring into the fabric of their body. As soon as something becomes an embodied experience like this, you can grasp it more deeply. Folks even say the practice feels like a distant memory is awakening. And a lot of people will say, I already knew how to do this. I just didn't know what I was doing. And feeling that is strangely recognizable as it's natural and normal. It is as if they are hearkening back to another form of beingness, to another reality, even another dimension, a remembering that arises in the here and the now, totally current with who and what you are. While you notice how this expanded awareness shifts you, lightens you up, and lifts your spirits, raises your vibration, you will begin to develop a sense of your larger selfhood. And this is the moment of real transformation. Moving closer to connecting with your more awakened self. From here, you can sense into pure human potential, our future selves. But learning is always a leap. But meeting your sacred anatomy and learning how vital a part of yourself it is can be a plunge into the vast pool of human knowledge that will demystify the realm of spirit and awaken your authentic human condition. Because this is the sacred anatomy secret that has hidden in the possibility of what might be yours, maybe a more awakened version of you. And tomorrow, waking up in you today. And there's more. Becoming awakened to this revelatory opportunity is an instructive immersion into your own lake of mindful presence, where ancient esoteric practices already reside and thrive within you. Pulling back the mists of time will reveal your expanded humanity, awaiting you, forever made fresh and new for you. Now, I know what I'm talking about because I had a revelatory experience at age 14 when I flew out of a car, through the air, and landed on my head. When I regained consciousness and opened my eyes again, everything had changed. Something in me opened up and showed me my full perceptual potential. When I hit the ground and was knocked unconscious, I was actually given a gift. My sight changed. It took me a few years to get that it was a gift. But my vision changed from being a normal young clairvoyant, seeing pretty lights around living things that didn't have a whole lot of significance to me. I'm moved to see how I now do brilliant and intense energy structures around human beings, around plants and animals, around trees, even around planets. And I found over time, because it's been a long time now, that they have a functional interactive use. What this ultimately taught me is that people can not only learn to sense their subtle selves, but that they can also learn to use this knowledge for good. Since those early days, I've drawn pictures of what I see and sense, and I'll share some of those with you. Because what I share with you today has been taken directly from my colored pencil drawings, done over 50 years of observation, study, experimentation, and analysis. You know, they might be different than what you see or what you've seen in books about inner sight or even about the subtle and the esoteric, because they're not pastel. They're not delicate cloud-like shapes. It's important to say that there's no requirement to believe in anything, to understand the information I'm sharing, and to do the edge practice. You really don't need to believe in my vision of what is going on. Because this isn't a religion, it's not a dogma. My work is not faith-based. In fact, I applied the scientific method, collecting anecdotal information by the ream, as I learned, analyzed, studied, and experienced my new sight. It took me about 4 years, but I finally learned to use the sight. So you don't have to believe what I share about your subtle and sacred self for it to still be valid and still be useful. And for you to even still use it, even if you don't believe in it. As you really need to just experiment with it and see if it's possible for you to use it, to make friends with it, and maybe to understand something more. In the process of sharing, I may introduce to you paradigms that are new. I heartily encourage you to take risks, to do things you might think of as crazy or weird, to set your critical self aside and suspend judgment. But please do not swallow any of it as gospel. And also, please don't constantly compare what I'm sharing with you to what you already know. Try to be open to the ideas I'm sharing because they're new and they're different. They're a little bit unique. So right now, let's make some space in your mind. Imagine a golden box and put inside it your old ideas of what is possible, other classes you've taken, your judgments about what you're capable of and what you are, any fear or difference you might have, any skepticism you might be holding in the back of your mind. So I want you to just take your fingers and run them through your brain and your mind and just pull all of that out and put it in a nice golden box here beside you, making space for some new ideas. Yeah, let's just open up to some new experiences. Okay, get it all in there. And now just blow into the box that which you have no idea is holding you back. Just throw it in there. Now close the lid and set it outside of the door to your house. It's going to be safe there. Nobody's going to get it. And you can open it later and take everything out. But this is going to prepare you to explore a new paradigm of how you see yourself and what you can learn. So, my teaching style is a bit of an adventure. It's a lightening up, and it's an exploration into the lands of your sometimes elusive, most awakened, and yet intelligent self. Feeling your own reactions will help you expand into understanding. Just looking at these pictures that I've drawn, direct from life, or even hearing about sacred anatomy concepts, actually has the potential to change your life, to change your experience. So this is a picture of the subtle anatomy, and it shows you one of the 7 systems, the layers. So these are the 8 layers of the human energy structure. And I begin with this picture because it's the most like things that other people have drawn. But you can see the bio layer, which is your physical body, the emotional layer, which is all around your physical body, the primal layer, the green one, which is a little further out, the mental layer, the yellow one, the cognitive layer, the turquoise one, and the spiritual layer, which is purple, the orange etheric layer, and the swirling energy of the soul layer. So each one of these layers has a profound gift that it gives. I sometimes talk about the layers system as being the storyteller of the structure. Now let's go to the next slide because I want to show you this one. This is the 8 resonating chambers. So each of the 7 systems of the sacred anatomy has its own resonating chamber that generates a specific frequency. And these frequencies essentially hold the subtle structure together. So they're literally sound frequencies, but they're not sound frequencies in the electromagnetic sense. They're subtle energy sound frequencies. So when you see this is what the expressing subtle anatomy looks like. It's healthy, it's engaged. And these ideas that we're talking about are meant to be lifesavers, to support you, to live more effectively, to be happier, to be healthier, to be safe and effective in the world. No longer hiding your sensitivity, but still interacting with the compassion of your heart in a new and revolutionary way. So these are pictures of the sacred anatomy, and in my book, Your Sacred Anatomy, An Owner's Guide to the Human Energy Structure, I have 88 of these color illustrations that I've collaborated with my wonderful computer graphics artists to bring my colored pencil drawings that I did on airplanes and on the back of envelopes to life in a very consistent, colorful way. So this is possible because this primary practice of self-aware conscious care, the edge practice, doesn't require anything special of you. Like, you don't have to see the way I do. You don't have to feel the way I do. You don't have to know anything that I know for this to be real and for it to actually to be helpful. What the edge practice does require is a willingness to be lighthearted. Have fun. Remembering your joy, the tune you hum to yourself while playing as an innocent child. The way it felt to run as fast as you could and never be afraid of falling. I have a little 11-month-old grandson, and when he eats, he sings. He loves to chew and sing. What joy is that? So try reaching back to a time when laughter came easily to you and fun was an important part of the day. This human quality to get the joke, to have a sense of humor, this is our salvation. This is actually the thing that we have that's going to get us through the hard times. We can rise up out of the morass we find ourselves in our everyday lives if the Spirit leads. Your spirit, your soul, not anybody else's, not what these parts of you have been defined as by others, but what they actually are: energy and consciousness. Human energy that has wisdom, purpose, and function. We feel and know love and light. We are shaped by our co-creative spiritual authority. And yes, we're making our own lives. We're forming the culture, the good and the bad. We are in charge, not some government agency, not some group of people, a cabal in the sky. No, it's us. We're the ones who are doing this. You and me. And in the bracing revelation of this fact, we can find our way together and burst into the collective song we have up until now only quietly whispered to ourselves. I'm going to tell you the story of how I discovered the edge. In 1985, as a highly sensitive and very vulnerable, empathic, psychic person who had all of this information flashing in my face all the time, never able to turn it off, I became sick. I actually was bedridden. And by 1985, I had some unknown illness. The symptoms were liver inflammation, aching everywhere, extreme exhaustion, memory loss, scrambled brains. I just hurt all the time. And I had a little girl. I had a 6-year-old who wanted to touch and who wanted me to hold her. And this is my little girl, Shira. She was the light of my life and still remains so. But every time she would try to snuggle into bed with me, I would start to cry from the pain. And so she had to stand on the outside. She had to watch her mommy from the side of the bed and not cuddle in the bed. So Shira is an exceptional person. Of course, I would think that, wouldn't I? I'm her mom. But I want to share with you how I actually discovered it. I was in bed. I couldn't touch her. And so one day, being aware of this big energy structure I had, which really expanded out 15 or 20 feet on all sides, it was big, I thought, maybe I could just reach her through the door or through the wall into her bedroom. And the head of my bed was right against her wall of her bedroom. And so I just consciously reached with my energy structure through the wall, and I touched her little head, and her head she had curly hair, but it was just gnarled up all the time. I mean, we used buckets of baby shampoo to get the curls out. And I touched her little clumpy curly hair, and I touched it, and I started to cry, and she said, "Mom, Mom?" And I hear this from the other room. She comes running into the room, puts her hand on her hip and says, "Mom, did you touch me?" And I was like, "I did, kind of, yeah." And she said, "How did you do that?" I said, "Well, I just extended my energy through the wall and I touched you." And she said, "Can you do that again?" And I said, "I don't know, Mom. Could try." So off she runs into the backyard, screaming the whole way, "Can you hear me? Can you hear me?" She gets into the backyard, doors are open, windows are open. She screams, "Can you touch me now?" So I tried. I just went right through the kitchen and the hallway and out through the garage and to where she was standing in the backyard, and I touched her head. And she yelled in glee, "You touched me, I could feel it." And then she came running into the house and went and hid under her dad's desk and said, "Can you touch me here?" And I did. And then she went into the bathroom. "Can you touch me here? I have to pee." So I touched her head again. And then finally she came to the door and she said, "Okay, I'm done with this game," and went back in her room. But what had happened was that I started to actually understand that the structure around me and around everybody else was a subtle self, that it was actually an anatomy, and that if I could understand it, I could interact with it, and this could be done consciously. So guess what? You have this capacity too. This ordinary discovery of a mom sick in bed leads to an extraordinary work that I've been engaged in since the 80s, and something I've shared with thousands of people, maybe tens of thousands, and I can share it with you. So, shall we go to the edge? I'm going to do it with a guided visualization, and we're going to take a trip through the sacred anatomy. So let's look at a slide that'll help us do that. So this is the basics, the frame, the base that your subtle structure is built on. You have a core which runs down the center of your body. It could be equated to your spine. And you can see that there's a powerful downward energy moving there. So let's try to feel that core moving from above your head. So it starts about 20 feet above your head, but never mind that. Just it starts up above your head and it comes in through the top of your head and it moves right down your spine. Oh, right down your whole spine. It goes out the bottom of your coccyx and it continues down through your legs and down through your feet, all the way down another 15 or 20 feet underneath you. So it's this big river of energy, and it's a triple current stream. It has in it red purpose, yellow wisdom, and blue function. And all three of those energies are moving within you. And then there's another big core-like energy called the channel. And that channel exists to witness this incredibly beautiful divine energy at the center of who and what you are. Because both of these core and channel are divine light. They're like filaments or fragments of divine consciousness within you. And it's what makes you who you are. So the channel moves from front to back. It moves all the way from maybe 15 feet in front of you and comes in a little bit above your belly button and moves all the way through your body and out your back and goes 15 or 20 feet out behind you. So see if you can feel that energy moving. Now there's also an edge, and it's all around you, kind of like a shell around an egg. And that edge contains swirling energies that are essentially a fuel tank. And it is helping you to be the human that you are, to manifest at the level of awareness and consciousness that you can. You are a manifestation of divine source. So now let's go to another slide that will help you even more completely. So right now we're going to walk through the layers, and this will actually take you to the edge. So you will have an experience. You see those little villi at the edge? We're going to take you there. So I'm going to help you walk through the layers, and you can look at this picture to do this, or you can close your eyes. So I'll talk you through all of them. First is the bio layer. And the bio layer is this amazing, beautiful thing called your physical body. And it contains within it your light body, which is a manifestation of the photons that are firing inside your physical body. And it's an extraordinary thing. It's this wonderful creation. And it's part of your subtle self. Your physical body is not separate from. There's only one body, and that includes everything. So, of course, your physical body is right there. So take a deep breath and even touch your physical body and feel your physicality. Feel your feet flat on the floor if you're able. Breathe in, feel yourself in your chair. Feel your physical body containing the core and the channel. Beautiful awarenesses. And now take a deep breath and expand your awareness right out through your skin, your physical skin, and move into the emotional layer. Now your emotional layer is right around your physical body. And it is devoted to current emotions, but also to your foundational emotions, to the very first emotions you had when you became a soul structure manifest, to the first emotions you had in this life. Even emotions of anger and fear, yeah, they're contained here. So wonderful emotional content. And it is a place of divine emotional awareness. So it is not just containing a bunch of upset, it's containing all your joy and wonderful, powerful experiences that you've had, deep emotional content. So take a deep breath and experience this pinkish, peachy colored, warm, flowing emotional layer. With a deep breath, go ahead and move into your primal layer. And the primal layer is green, and it's the place in your structure that's like the dragon's egg. This is where your ancient DNA lives, your awareness of the mystical creatures, but it's also your awareness of the ancient, the dinosaurs walking the earth, your lizard brain. This is where that information is stored. So now take a deep breath and move beyond that and move into your mental layer. And the mental layer it's not too far away from you. It's only about 5 feet away from your physical body. But it's right there. And your mental layer contains concepts, beliefs, attitudes, discoveries. It also contains your ability to accept the divine, your ability to be with the divine feminine, your ability to experience chaos and not be frightened of it. So this is the mental layer. Experience yourself there. And now take a deep breath and move into the cognitive layer. Take another couple of steps out. And in the cognitive layer, you will find portals into every single part of your physical body, as well as into every single part of your subtle anatomy. So there are thousands of little portals here, but there's also a great big place called the point of transmutation. That's the furthest out layer. They're little stratas, and it's the furthest out strata of this cognitive layer that's really like the brain of your subtle anatomy. And in the point of transmutation, you can make change. This is where you can implant an idea and changes occur. And your family, your friends, your parents, your teachers can implant ideas there. And some of those ideas have helped you become who you are. Some are good and some are not so good. But those ideas can be felt there. Now take a deep breath and step out a little further into one of the biggest layers. This is your spiritual layer. And it has 6 different amazing strata. There's one devoted to your guides and guardians. There's one devoted to elemental energy. There's one devoted to fairy folk, one devoted to intuition, one to angels, and one to deities. So you have access in your spiritual layer to all of the mystical and esoteric world. This is where you can go. And there's a spirit river that runs through this amazing mystical part of your structure that gives you a way to float into each and every one of those places. So take a deep breath and float all the way down that spirit river to the next layer, which is the etheric. And the etheric layer is fascinating because this is where your karma is stored. This is where your story is. Every single life you've ever lived, every single experience of birth and death and love and anger and arguments and fighting, as well as joy, it's all logged here. Some people think of this as the Akashic records, But each of us has our own mini version of a larger Akashic record where all the history of your life is stored. If you're going to see somebody who does Akashic readings, this is where they're getting the information, right from in your own structure. And it's big. It's about 8 feet deep. So it's very, very big. It contains a lot. So just walk right through it. And it's a little like the Himalayan mountains. You have to climb over mountains going through it. And as you get through it, you get to the other side. You enter the soul layer. Now the soul layer is filled with individuated currents of function, purpose, and wisdom that have broken off and created a fountainhead of core individuation, where you have an opportunity to seize your own individuated nature. And your fuel for what supports you in life includes this energy that's swirling in your soul layer. So we don't want to stay there too long because it's really active. So take a deep breath and simply move right through the edge, and you're going out into the universal. You're passing through the little villi at the edge, and you're in the surrounding universal, the universal that's right around you. Now don't go too far, just stay there experiencing the universal, because you are a co-creative partner in this cosmic journey with all creation. So each one of us is different and amazing. And as you step through the edge, turn around and look back at yourself. Look at the potential that your sacred anatomy holds, this huge structure, 20 feet above, below, all around you. So it's like 50 feet across, maybe 45, 50, and you're looking at your unlimited potential. And now nestle back into the edge, the villi there at the edge. Just cuddle right in with your face facing outward now, facing outward. And you're more than you think you are. You have greater awareness than you think you do. All you have to do is claim it, really. So notice what you feel in this moment. Notice what you sense and what you know. Notice what you feel inside your heart and what sensations are there when you're looking at the world from the edge of your sacred anatomy. Well, congratulations. That was an amazing thing that you just did. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to open the floor to your questions, and I will be very, very happy to answer whatever I can. So please put them quickly in the chat. And I'm just going to take this moment to say hi to some of my good friends who are here. Hi, Kat. So good to see you. And Hosanna, hi. It's so great to see you. Old friends, Jean Marie, lovely, wonderful. Elizabeth, hi. Janice, Lisa, hello to San Diego. It's so good to see you guys. Tom, I know you're here. I'm always so pleased. Hi, Felice. It's wonderful to see you. It's great to be with you. And now, as we have an opportunity to ask questions, please just go right ahead and ask any question that comes to mind. And you can ask about any part of this. It's all okay. And if you don't want to ask a question, you just want to share something, that's also okay. So please let us know. And Cheryl, do we have any things in the chat?
Yes, Jen has said thank you for that walkthrough.
You're welcome. I'm so glad. I'd love to hear some of your experiences. That would be really intriguing. I would love to hear that. Tamara has raised her hand. Tamara, go right ahead.
So if our energy structure, is 20 feet down, that means a good chunk of it is below the house, below the ground. What is it experiencing or does it not sense that
And I
heavy,
like our company. I can't figure out where to do it though. Right?
that
Okay, let's everybody stay on mute unless you're talking. Go ahead, Tamara. I'm sorry, there was a little interruption.
So yeah, the bottom part of the structure, the bottom third of it, I guess, is under
Yeah.
the ground. It's
Well, it can be if you're standing on the ground. If you're up in a 3-story building, it won't be.
or in a plane or in a car.
Or in a plane, yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, so what do you experience from the ground? What is the earth telling you or talking to you? So if you're at your edge, you have this sacred kind of bubble that's around you where you can be really big and present and there in the awareness and the consciousness of what the earth is experiencing. So you can actually have a rapport. You can speak to the earth if you desire. You don't have to. And Mother Earth is always willing to talk. You know, she's there. And she's able to talk to you. But she won't just interrupt you. You have to kind of come to her and be very humble and say, "Excuse me, Mother Earth, may I trouble you for a moment?" And speak to her with great humility. But she's there, always in connection with all of her creation, you know, Mother Earth's creation. She's speaking to you. So what do you feel? You feel everything, you know? And that's part of the reason we need the edge, because those of us that are so sensitive, we're walking around feeling, you know, nuclear waste. And it's difficult because the earth is a different species than we are. So she's processing like crazy all this stuff, you know, and you and I can't process that. We're different. We're a different, kind of a more etheric version of a structure. So we need to have the awareness of the edge, because when you have the awareness of the edge, you don't merge. You stop merging. Is that like amazing to hear? Hallelujah, praise God, I'm not going to merge. So that's one of the most powerful reasons to learn the edge, is just to get a break, you know, from all that merging. I mean, I was sick because all I did was just pick everything up. I was just constantly picking everything up. And, you know, I needed to be sick to learn how to go to the edge. So I got that. And now I can share it with you. All right. So who else? What else, Cheryl? What have we got?
Well, we have some questions and some feedback. So the first
Great.
question is from Janice, and she says, what part of our anatomy that you showed us did you use to touch your daughter?
The edge. The edge. The edge of my energy structure, which contains some different things. So it has the villi that are at the edge, but it also has underneath it kind of like little, it's kind of like the skin. And I think of it as the third skin. So we have a first skin here. We have a second skin at the edge of our electromagnetic field, which some people call the aura. And it's just right here, 4 feet or so out from our physical bodies. Some people have a little larger one, some people a little smaller. And then there's the edge of the sacred anatomy. So I used my third skin to touch and was able to feel through that third skin. Now, it's hard to learn how to feel at first. I was lucky. So it's something people can learn. You can learn. And in the Edge class for learning, the class for learning the Edge practice that I'm sharing with you today, I'm talking to you about today, there are a number of exercises where we talk about nurturing that sensitivity, sensing skills. So I teach sensing skills as well as the edge, all wrapped in together so that you can feel the distinctions in your sacred anatomy, because believe me, they're there. It's exciting. All right, another question.
Yes, thank you, Desda. This is from Carlota, and she says, I felt secure, loved, and comforted when on the edge.
Oh man, I could cry. That's so good. Thank you, Carlotta. One of my favorite names, by the way. Carlotta always feels like she should be doing flamenco, but it's just, I love that. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that beautiful feedback. That's awesome. Has anybody else got a share or?
Yes, Jen says the colors were amazing. As a Reiki master, I truly do appreciate another way to view energy fields and another understanding of our anatomy.
Oh man, that's awesome to hear. Many of my students are Reiki masters, some of them teachers and really active in the Reiki community. And one of the things that people start to do is to do Reiki at the edge. And it actually really potentizes it. It's quite amazing. And it's a beautiful thing. It truly is. It's wonderful because there's no reason for different energy schools or thoughts or trains of thought to be in competition with each other. There's no reason for me to say, oh, that's better or this is better. It's possible that we're all walking the same path and that we all have the same good-hearted goal, which is to understand who we are as human beings. So bring it on is what I say.
Yes, and if you have time for one last question, Faith
Yeah,
asks,
I think we do. Yeah, go ahead.
are there ways to nurture our edge?
Oh my gosh. The best way is to learn how to live at the edge. I remember the first time that I dreamed at the edge, because when I figured it out in 1985, I started to try to do it all the time, right? And I remember going to sleep one night and waking up, practicing my edge, being at my edge, and then waking up in the morning at my edge. And my inflammation in my liver felt less painful. I was feeling healthier. I was actually able to get up and walk into the kitchen and make breakfast. So this was a huge breakthrough for me as a physical being. And, that's what we are, all right? We're physical beings. So we've got to learn to use the subtle esoteric in our physical reality. And the way to nurture the edge is to use the edge practice. And that is, in fact, what the Sacred Anatomy Way is all about. So thank you for your questions. I want to say that I have added a special Q&A event on Saturday, and it's going to go from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning, this Saturday. And since you're registered for the class, or for this class rather, this free class, you will receive notification about it for sure. But you just log into a Zoom and we're going to have a whole hour to ask more questions and dive deeper, because I have a real, like an agenda today. So, but I'm free, for a whole hour to talk about anything and everything that you guys would like to. And that goes for anybody who's ever studied anything with me and wants to talk about something super esoteric. I'm down with it. So we're going to have fun. So the Sacred Anatomy Way. Well, I think I want to share an edge triumph story. So I had at one time I had a woman come to study with me who was a teacher. She was already a teacher. She was a wonderful teacher. And she had this really intense daughter. And her daughter was high energy. I mean, right now the girl works in Washington, D.C. for a congressman. She's got like a million volts of energy going all the time. And this woman was just exhausted by her kid. And so I taught her to go to the edge, and they became not just mother and daughter, but really friends. And I went to her wedding not long ago, and the two of them were so in harmony and so gentle together. It was so beautiful, but it was the mom being able to stay at her edge that allowed her to have this daughter that was very different from her nature, which was, very quiet and kind of introverted. And her daughter was this total extrovert. So it allowed her to be in relationship and rapport. The edge can do all kinds of fabulous things. So I've seen students of shamanism who've been unable to integrate their studies into their worlds find the way to do it. I've seen folks who've taken psychotropic drugs who felt something was sort of lost to them find it again with the edge. I've met parents, as I said, who felt overrun by their kids, find their equilibrium again. Marriages have improved, and chronic anxiety lessened, and financial woes have shifted. And when you learn to understand this simple practice, it's actually a form of disciplined mindfulness, because to integrate it into your life, you're going to need to keep using it constantly. It becomes an approach to living. It might be compared to a physical discipline like Aikido or ballet. You will be using your subtle anatomy as the ballerina or martial artist uses the physical body to encode every cell with a new method of moving and reacting. As you slowly train yourself to accept a new way of being in your life, using your subtle intelligence, which will reprogram your operating systems, whispering the secret over and over again into your inner ear. You already know this. You have this. You're remembering something you've just forgotten. Wake up to it. The edge practice is a way to be in the world that gives you more than it takes. It can develop your existing skills and talents to make you even more sensitive to your work and your environment, while at the same time help you deal with hypersensitivity that makes you vulnerable and attracts all kinds of stuff. And that can even make you sick, right? So it'll improve your existing accomplishments by adding the unknown missing ingredient of how to work. A lot of people teach energy techniques. They teach you what to do. They actually don't teach you how to do it. So this is how to do it, how to work, and how to be in the world. And the fire in your subtle awareness skill set will get brighter and stronger to a more masterful level over time. If this sounds intriguing, like something you need to understand and use, this class starts in a couple of days on June. I'm sorry, I said January. It's June 14th. And the whole time that you're with me in this class, it's a 6-session class. The whole thing is designed to teach you to follow this introductory experience. What we've just done today with The Secret, this is called the Essential Practice, Your Sacred Anatomy Edge. And I will teach you the 5 steps to the edge of your subtle structure and help you discover how to make these new ideas feel like old, comfortable sweater. So some benefits that you might get from these 5 spiritual practices that each stand on their own, but together are an absolute knockout powerhouse. You're going to become fully present in your life, become more embodied in your physical body, as well as enliven the cells in your body, like turn on the esoteric spiritual part of who you are. Ground safely into your own energy structure. Yes, I will teach you how to not ground into the earth, but how to ground into yourself. So that when you're in an airplane, there's not a grounding cord stretching 1,000 miles away, trying to somehow feel grounded. No, you're going to learn how to ground into yourself. And I'll teach you why it's not helpful to ground into the earth. As much as I love her, she's not the place to ground. You'll learn to, in the 21st century, I'm going to add that caveat. Learn to contain your energy and stop merging with patients, clients, friends, family. Feel the fullness of compassion that exists and lives for you at the edge of your human energy structure. And release your chattering thoughts to help you focus in light. I've actually got a practice to do that. New sensing skills to enhance your subtle awareness. And on top of all of that, there are archived training materials there for everything I teach you, for every single skill set, for every single exercise. There are videos and PDFs to help you master this exciting esoteric material. And it's all available on a teaching site. So you learn how to do this, and there will be tips about how to know you're not doing it, or how you can do it again, how you can repeat it. There are 3 different ways to learn the edge practice: through the subtle anatomy, through physical movement, and through meditation. And we'll do all 3. But what in the end matters is, did you find the way that clicked for you to understand something that is challenging and to even put it into words? I mean, it took me like 35 years to get here to teach this stuff. I had to invent a whole language so that I could even talk about it. I had to rework and redefine terms throughout the English language. My book is very audacious. I have 18 pages of glossary that redefines what soul and spirit are. Okay, I did it. And you find out how to actually use the subtle structure. Phew. So when learning any discipline, there will be a consistent invitation always to shift your conscious awareness and expand your idea of who and what you are. But let's face facts, it's all in your head until it's not, right? So either you expand your head and make space in there, or get out of it. But either way, moving from point A to point B will always change how you identify yourself. When you identify changes from inner movement, it's always you who makes that happen. So get ready, because this is a transformational course. This is a course that changes your life. This is a course that will blow the socks off of how you've been acting and get you a place where you can engage and totally be present in your life. The consciousness you are right now will expand and morph into the authentic consciousness you hold locked in your sacred anatomy. So learning how to use your subtle energy to go to the edge, it's a homecoming, and it'll take you back to who you've always been. Before you were shaped by a lifetime of traumas and disappointments, and we're going to go back to before that. Consciously practicing the edge will synergistically rearrange how you think about connecting with other people. It'll shift the fear you have about enmeshing or becoming too close to others. The edge practice might even shift how you feel about how you feel. It can change how you intuit and what your empathic sensibility actually is to you. I've been taking students to the edge of their subtle structure for years, and I've seen real miracles occur. Now, I know it sounds like magic, but it's not. It's anatomy. Isn't that great? It's just anatomy. It's your sacred anatomy. At the edge, you are owning the whole thing. Oh! So going to the edge, you're going to learn the 5 steps in the essential practice. It'll open doors, break you out of your old ways. And while it may have served in the past to be a certain way, you're going to move forward, because you haven't really been moving forward. You've been doing it the same old way, right? So even though you learn a new technique, you're doing it the same old way. So this is a new way, and all your old techniques will even be better, which is what's one of the coolest things. I break the practice down into easy and fun exercises that can expand your skills and help you learn something that will change your life for the better. Now prepare to learn even more of the anatomy and skills so you can really use these 5 steps to fully attain complete and total experience and be more balanced in your everyday life. Just doing what we did today won't give you a fully embodied edge practice. It's just a taste. It's a little, it's a little amuse-bouche, it's just a little taste. But it was a start for sure. But each of the 5 steps that I teach you give a meditative practice, each one unto themselves. And learning them deeply over the 6 sessions of the course will fully awaken your sacred anatomy and give you a repeatable, useful life skill you can work with daily. So if you're ready to claim your birthright and open yourself to your most compassionate nature, join me for the essential practice, your sacred anatomy edge. So the edge practice is a walking mindfulness practice. It's a waking awareness and a sleeping awareness. You can use all day, every day, all 24 hours of the day to bring spirit into your lives and create a relationship with your own sacred anatomy. You are a light being in a physical body. So drop the mask and learn to live as you truly are. And why do you need to learn these 5 steps to the edge? Well, to become fully present, to ground safely, to learn to contain your energy, to stop merging, to feel the fullness of compassion that exists and lives for you. Kuan Yin is your friend and lives at your edge. To release your chattering monkey mind thoughts, to gain new sensing skills, to benefit from the archived materials which are there for your use. And if you can't make a scheduled 9 o'clock to noon Pacific time on Wednesday's class, the archived materials are there, and the class is recorded, edited, and put up for your use on the site, so you can watch the class again. So join me in the 5 steps to the edge, the essential practice, your sacred anatomy edge, starting Wednesday, June 14th, running to July 26th on, and it's just going to be a great summer adjunct. 6 classes, 3 hours each from 9 to 12 Pacific time. Plus there will be a class reunion we'll schedule after. And as a special gift to you right now, through June 6th, Sacred Anatomy Academy is offering $100 off the regular class fee of $450. This class, this 6-week class, is a $450 class. But today, it's $100 off for you guys who are here today. So check our website to register and to learn more information. And due to the postponement, we, moving the class from last week to this one, we're extending the discount for a few more days to say thank you for being so generous. And after June 6th, the price will rise back up to $400, which is still a $50 discount. The edge practice is the cornerstone of my work. It's the most sacred thing that I have ever given to anyone. And this class is a prerequisite for further professional study of the sacred anatomy energy medicine that has been my life's work. Training with me and studying the seminal energetic hygiene, which is the next class in the progress, and that's coming in the fall. Sacred Anatomy Energy Medicine professional track starts with the essential practice, the Sacred Anatomy Edge. So come and have Q&A with me on June 3rd. Don't miss it, 10 a.m. It should be fun. Please come and join me. And I want to give a special thank you to my Sacred Anatomy team. You met Cheryl, but there's Bobby behind the controls, who's just my wonderful partner, and Kimmy, who helps do the artwork, and Guige, who's our webmaster. So thank you for coming to the Sacred Anatomy Secret. And can you come back to me one more time, Cheryl? I just want to connect with everybody and say thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing this wonderful day with me. Thank you for your devotion to your own spiritual growth and awakening. Thank you for your conscious presence. And thank you so much for being open to hearing something new and different. I hope you will join me in the class. I look forward to it. And my arms are open wide to have you come in and join the Sacred Anatomy Circle. Thanks again for being with us. Bye. Mwah.